Hello, guys, and welcome back to the ministry. I did not realize I hate when you're supposed to do that. But today we're doing a different kind of a message. This is that message that you don't want to talk about. This is that message that some of y'all not gonna want to hear. This is that message that makes us all feel like, I could do without the wedding. I'll be good. This is that message. The Lord put it on my heart a little bit earlier today. I thought about this the other day, but I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Mostly because I don't want this energy around me. I don't even want it. I don't want the energy. I don't want to think about it. It's not something that's on my mind. It's not something that I desire. No. A lot of us, those of us that been in the wait, we've been waiting. I mean, me been waiting. It's been a minute. I know I've been in my waiting season for about 7 years. So I'm kind of in this phase of, can we just get this over with? I can give less of a darn, to be honest with you. And for some cases, it's the Lord that's saying, no, I want you to have a wedding. And you're saying, Lord, you do realize all the hell that I just came through. And that's what God's saying. God's saying, I know the hell you just came through. That's why I want you to have a wedding. But for some, this isn't going to be as easy as we thought it was going to be. This is why the Lord kind of showed me something in this. I was looking at 2 trailers. I mentioned this one trailer before, and I'm going to start with that one, and then we're going to move forward from there. I think I'm going to start with that one. He showed me the trailer, The Invitation, a while ago. He just showed me the other day Shotgun Wedding. And then he also showed me, he was bringing back to my recollection the old episode of Martin when Martin and Gina were trying to get married and all hell broke loose between the families. And it's that element of, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ain't been praying about the peace of God to fall on your family for your wedding, start. Let me repeat that again. Start. Because if you're going to have a big to-do, you're going to need that. Especially if you plan to merge the families together. One of my favorite movies to watch about marriage is Jumping the Broom. If any of you have seen the movie Jumping the Broom, you know the type of chaoticness that was going on, shady family members, all that kind of stuff, doing stuff behind people's backs just to cause trouble before the wedding. Okay? We're in a situation right here that God was showing me that some of y'all, if the Lord allots you the ability to go to the courthouse, to Vegas, to wherever it is he's going to send you to go get married, and he shows you that's where you going to go, when the opportunity arises for you to leave and do that, you best to hightail it to wherever he told you to go and do it. Because if you try to do the wedding thing before the Lord says do the wedding thing, you're going to run into a whole lot of confusion. Hear me while I tell you. So we're going to start with the movie trailer, The Invitation. I've already done the good part of that trailer. I'm about to express the flip side, okay? So in The Invitation, you have this young woman whose name is Evie. Think about it. Eve, Adam and Eve. Eve was presented to who? Adam. Okay. She's invited to go to this party. It's a wedding invitation. She knows she's going to it. She's brought there by a family member, so on and so forth. We know this. Much like the Rebecca and Isaac situation. We already went through all that. I don't need to go through all that. This is where it gets a little confusing. The first night she's there, she gets up and she's exploring the house. It's very dark. The film is shot in a very dark lighting because it's depicting how dark this situation is. There is two sides to every story, okay? And you're about to see something with this. She's exploring because she doesn't know, where am I, what's going on, who's getting married. I'm oblivious, but I really like this house. This house is beautiful. Some of us are going into scenarios where we have no lay of the land. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know how it's supposed to be expressed. We're just being pulled into the middle of a situation and we don't know what in the world's going on. Because we're there and we may not know what's going on, the first thing that you need to be careful of, and Stephanie P was just doing a video about this, she said, be careful of fake friends and malicious, manipulative people. The first thing that happens is a young woman befriends her. It's like, hey, how you doing? And all of this. And she's still sitting there like, who's getting married though? I still don't know who's getting married. Who get married? Oh. And the young woman, she's like, I saw you. You're getting close to Walter, aren't you? Let me explain something to you right quick, right fast, in a hurry. When you get to where your God ordained spouse is, keep your eyes open to anybody who becomes too close, too fast, and too nice. I have family members, they come at me like that. I am not talking to them. Family members that I know, they're my family. They start talking to me like that. I'm like, what the hell you want? What do you want? You want something. I know you want something. The last woman that treated me like sheer hell. When we first met each other, the first thing in which she did, hey, child of God, you are a child of God, aren't you, child of God? Blah, 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 blah. She was way too nice. And I was like, what's wrong with you? And she knew I knew something was up with her because of the fact that she used to always tell me, and I know you're thinking such and such and such about me. And I'm like, you're right, I am. But why would you think that if you were authentically trying to be my friend, right? Moving on. So this woman, she's the new girl who's just coming into the situation is looking around like, what in the world is going on? I don't know where I'm at. Where's this bride at? So she's confused and she sees this woman and the woman takes her and they go and get some like beauty treatments done. And for some reason, they're doing her nails. The main character of the film, they're doing her nails. And something happens. And it pops the middle part of her nail off, or they file it down to a point that her actual finger is bleeding. But I think it popped because they had something that was to crack it like a nail clip, but it looked too big to be a regular nail clip. And the woman walks past her, takes her hand, and puts her finger in her mouth and licks the blood. If you've been listening to me for half of any amount of time, you have heard me say that there are Jezebels that are operating in witchcraft. Yes? Yes. Okay. Now that you've understood that, I need you to come into the understanding that some of these women are still hanging around and they may actually try to befriend you. Actually, this isn't the first time I've heard of this. I've heard a couple of people mention this, that these women may still be in the picture. It's not that they have gone away. And they may try to, because they know they can't really approach them, they might try to approach you because you don't know who they are. You haven't seen their exes. You don't know what they look like. So they may try to come in and sweep in right real quick and get associated with you and try to do something. Let me tell you something. When I was where I was a few years ago, I knew witchcraft was being done. And you know what went missing all of the time? My glasses. I had 4 pairs of glasses when I left here. I lost 4 pairs of glasses while I was gone. This was the last pair that I bought before I left and came back from New York. But the 4 I left with, all of them disappeared. My glasses disappeared, and usually when they need to do a ritual, they take something that belongs to you. That or your hair. So they say don't let your hair, if you're combing out your hair, don't leave it anywhere, so on and so forth. I went to a deliverance church, okay? So these are things that they explain to you. I didn't know anything about this. So for this woman to suck the blood out of her finger tells me one thing and one thing only. That she was trying to do what? Create a blood covenant. If a person doesn't like you and they want to create a blood covenant, soul tie, and or have some type of connection to you, they do it by blood. You know those old little children's oaths that you saw where the 2 kids cut each other's hand and then clasp the blood. Blood covenant. It's a blood covenant that you are forever tied to this person. There's some type of spiritual tie that you now have to this individual. These people will try to connect to you in order to create havoc between you and your God ordained spouse. Just to let you know that. First. Next. She's still questioning, trying to figure out who's the bride and who's the groom. So, when they get to the dinner, they are all brought to the table. You are going to be brought to a table. This is the moment, if you recall in Psalms 23 and 5, where he makes a table before your enemies. This woman was brought before a table of this man's family, not knowing why she was there. You are about to be brought to tables full of vipers, snakes, venomous people, and the only thing that's going to be covering you is your God ordained spouse. Okay? Because you're going to be in rooms, realms, and places that you won't be surrounded by snakes, and the only thing that's going to cover you is your spouse. She's still sitting there trying to figure out, yo, where the groom at? And here he finally comes. She realizes the guy that she's been entertaining and flirting with the whole time is the groom. But what he does is he goes to the other end of the table and slits the throat of whoever it was that was sitting in that chair. I don't know whether it was the woman or it was somebody. I don't remember who it was, whether it was a woman or a guy, but I know the person was wearing a white shirt. And I think it was a guy. He slits that person's throat. These people are cutthroat, okay? What I want to say about this is this. This is going to divide into 2 parts. We're going to talk about your perspective as the innocent coming in, and we're also going to talk about the perspective of your God ordained spouse and some scenarios in which they've been trapped in, okay? So, cutthroat. We've been talking about this. If you saw the one where I was talking about the exposure, there are people around your God ordained spouse that are cutthroat. They would cut his throat. Remember, Haman was trying to kill Xerxes. Bro wasn't trying to hold up a situation. He was trying to set it up so that he ended up in Xerxes' position, did he not? Hello. David, even David turned around and killed his best confidant because he was sleeping with his wife. In some of these situations, these people are cutthroat. Even your God ordained spouse, he may even be a very cutthroat type person, meaning they have a kind demeanor. But when it comes to certain elements of the way that they do things, they have to be cutthroat in where they are positioned. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they were not cutthroat, they actually would put themselves in danger of being stepped all over and overran in the industry in which they are in. But they are also surrounded by cutthroat people. It says in the word that you have to be treacherous with those that are treacherous around you. This man cut this person's throat. Then takes the wine glass and fills it with the blood from the cut. As I explained to you before, that in tradition of a wedding, that what happens is upon the presentation of the bride was already betrothed to the young man all of her life. But at this particular point in time, she's being presented. And at the point of presentation, a wine glass is shared between the two. For a Christian child of God, it would be what? The wine, which is like the blood of Jesus Christ. Even in this moment, the blood can represent Jesus's blood, or the blood covenant between you and God, between these two people. But here's where I'm going to step to the left and talk about your God ordained spouse and the counterfeit. Follow. Your God ordained spouse may have come into relationship with a person that was your identical opposite. Remember, the counterfeit is your identical opposite. They come in and they are operating in witchcraft, manipulation, and even blood curses. And when I say that, I am being 100% legitimately serious when I say this. There are such a thing as blood rituals that these people will perform in order to get these men, and sometimes it's women, for the men that are waiting for their spouses. They will get these people to ingest their blood. I'm not really going to say look this up, but if I've seen it, and some of you may see it. Can I say that, Lord? Do you want me to really say that? Since we're here, let's go on. There are people that make blood cookies. There are people that take menstrual blood and they take it and ingest it. They cause these people to ingest their menstrual blood. All kinds of stuff. I've heard they take the blood and put it in spaghetti sauce and have the men eat the sauce. All kinds of nastiness. They just put enough in there that you can't taste it, but they'll eat it and the thought of it. They do this. If you remember a few years back, it was back about around 2013, there was this thing that made a craze, made it to GMA. It was talking about this young woman who went on camera and went viral for eating her bloody tampon. Do you remember that? That's what I'm talking about. Blood covenant. So, he tries to exchange the wine glass. Of course, I don't think this woman drinks it, but in the film, we see that she is then held hostage, put under a spell. Your God ordained spouses have potentially fallen for the trick. Maybe they were put under spells. Maybe, and when I say a spell, let me tell you, I may have said this before in one of my other videos, but they can put your spouse under a spell through agreement. I've told you before, people have tried to put me under spells. What that looks like is when you literally feel woozy. Like somebody is trying to hypnotize you into agreeing with whatever it is they're saying at that point in time. You feel woozy. You came into contact. Even hearing the person's voice will be a little bit hypnotic to you and you'll feel it. But aside from that, it's not only just hypnotic, it'll feel like, you know, when love first falls on you and you feel like, you feel that feeling with the hypnotic sensation. Like somebody done hit you with love potion number 9 or some type of foolishness. That's what they're doing. Okay? They're probably using the blood to do the same thing. Okay? And the young woman is held hostage. They tie her up. She's got a mouth gap over her, so on and so forth. Your God ordained spouse, though, they may look free. They are in some type of spiritual chain because maybe they did a blood covenant, and probably from the one of the few easiest ways to get a man. Sex. They did it through sex. Maybe convinced them to have sex with them and they weren't quite off of their period. 2, made them ingest something. 3, alcohol, liquor. 4, if y'all spouses drink or smoke, they either laced their whatever it was that they were smoking or they laced their drugs. And they're being held into a spiritual hostage by whatever it is that they've been taking, and or they are spiritually held hostage by something, of course, the curses. Because remember, they are still under curses. And whatever curses are still attached to them, they're being held hostage. Chains on arms, hands, legs, and thoroughly wrapped around their waist. They are held hostage. And this witchcraft is being put into place. Remember what I said back in, Sleeping Beauty. That, they're being held hostage. There's something specific I meant by Sleeping Beauty. They're being held hostage. The nymphs have taken them into custody. They're being held hostage by all of their generational curses and prevented from being able to come to you. So even if you go back in the exposure video where I was talking about through lust, jealousy, greed, malice, disobedience, rebellion, all of those types of things, these are the things that are holding them hostage. The bloodline curses, perversion, premature death, all kinds of stuff. We've been praying, have we not, against these things. They're held hostage. They are desperately trying to escape. I'm going to say this. I did not say this when I was talking about the lake house. In the lake house, I was saying something about there's certain things that are happening that they want to get away from. I'm seeing this as a running theme that as these people are coming out, we're seeing in public eye, people are divorcing left and right. If you notice, when Harry married Meghan Markle, he left the royal family. These people You may see them in industries, places, spaces, high-powered industries. They are actually sitting there in that wonderful castle of the industrial life that they have been sitting in and are saying, I want out of here. Can I leave? Can I go? When can I go? I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be here no more. This is too much. What I'm seeing, what I've seen, I've been exposed to too much stuff. The pressure behind all this, it's just too much. I done did it the way that the world does it. I don't like this. I'm ready to get out of here. God, can you get me out of this situation? If you get me out of this situation, I'll follow you. I swear I will. They on the run. They spirit is on the run. This is why that they are more perceptive of you, because they're like, yo, I want out of this, cause I can't be here in this. I can't deal with this. This don't work for me. They on the run. So, but there's operations of witchcraft that have been going on your God ordained spouse's side that have been trying to hold them in place. They think that they find an ally, and the very same ally that they go to is going to lead them directly back to the same person, people, or witchcraft groupings that were trying to hold them in place in the first place. And they've been like, please, Jesus, help me. Please. And they've been holding tightly to you in the spirit, because they're like, look, God, I want out, and you're telling me that this person is the person, and you're showing me that this person is praying for me. Please don't let them stop praying for me, because I need them. So for y'all, so those of y'all that you've been spiritually being attacked, and the enemy's been trying to get you to turn your back on your God ordained spouse, please don't do it, because your God ordained spouse is actually praying to God that you will stay in prayer for them and over them. And let's see, leads them back to, so all in all, these people have been trying to keep them boxed in, to get them to stay in covenant and align with and marry whoever it is that is the choosing that they feel that they should marry. You've got whole groupings of people that are backing. I'm talking industry people. I'm talking whatever people for whatever industry that they are in. I'm talking about friends, family, all of these types of things. You got spiritual witchcraft going on within their family bloodline. It's like they have to marry the person that we need them to marry, or else. And they are fighting tooth and nail. And they have been dragged, kicking and screaming, to the altar to be with this person. And I ain't talking about a marital altar. I'm talking about the witchcraft altar. And they have been kicking and screaming, saying, please. And they have literally been in a fight. Just like I said, at the end of Sleeping Beauty, they are in a fight to get away, and have been in a fight to get away from the counterfeit to get to you. This is like life or death for them, because these people were not going to let them go. Now, where we are right now, I'm getting ready to go into the Martin and Shotgun Wedding. I'm going to do that on another video, but I wanted to bring this point to you that yes, some of y'all are dealing with straight confusion on your God ordained. Keep your God ordained spouses in prayer, because the counterfeits were really trying, but it's not going to succeed. Lord is breaking it up. Some of it's already been broken, and they've already made the choice. They've already fought the battle. Now they have been set free, and they're en route to you. They really are en route to you. But because they had to go through all of this, give them grace, please. I literally woke up this morning and saw 555 on my clock on my tablet. Give them the grace necessary because they just went through hell to get to you. They're injured, they're spiritually injured, and they're hurt in their spirit and their soul. Their walls may be up. Emily gave me the song by T.I. called it's T.I. and Christina Aguilera talking about something walls. Castle walls. Their walls are up. Their walls are up. So you may be coming in and you may be confused and you may not understand what and where with everything that's going on, because you're just coming into this thing and you were like thrown in, just like this young woman was thrown in, and she's wondering, what's going on? Where am I going? Oh, I'm the bride. What you mean? You're you are being thrown into the midst of the chaos going on with the bloodline curses. And you have to be careful that you don't come into agreement with the covenant of their bloodline curses, because of the fact that you're coming into their family, that they may try and get you to come into agreement with the curse that's on the bloodline. You have to be alert, aware, so on and so forth. The only blood that you are dealing with is the blood of Jesus. And you're coming to cut down. You're coming to break down the fight, the walls, all of that. You're coming to destroy it. You're not coming to come into alignment and agreement with it. As according to the word, it says that God is sending you in. You are not to become friends and associated with their drama. No. You're coming in with God and you're staying with God. Don't let yourself get hypnotized. Don't let yourself become lukewarm. Don't let yourself become disillusioned or unaware of what's going on around you, because that's when they will start to slowly come in, slowly manipulate, and slowly try to open doors to trick you into coming into alignment with what they want. No. Keep your eyes open, keep alert, keep in alignment with God. All things are going to come in together the way that they're supposed to. We're going to come into part 2 where I'm going to go into these next films. But the film and the TV show. So I'm going to leave that the way it is, where it is. So until next time, much love, faith, peace, and blessings to you. Bye-bye.